Yo, it's Zero, and this is a series that I've been meaning to bring back to my channel for a while now. I did a version like it in the past, and after I rewatched all of it, I didn't really enjoy the way I did it, so I figured I could remake it and make it a lot better here. This is What If Naruto was a Saiyan. If you do want to see a part 2 to this What If, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my second channel, as well as joining my Discord, as all the links will be down below in the description, like they always are. So, without any more wait at all, let's get started.
Let's get it. I'm a trapping fanatic, that shit automatic, so I cannot turn it on or off. Bitches all on my dick, then she hop on my dick, I'm like, why you keep hopping on and off? Yo, bitch all on my dick, she be doing the most. I tell her, little bitch, she so extra. And my gun up on me, but not run up on me. Niggas, they wanna fight, they some wrestlers. And you know 30K got the mop. Sacked up, yeah, I got them knots. Act up, get your body in a box. Told the demon, you know how I rock.
So, the story actually begins with Minato Namikaze, who is kind of like Goku in this story. Well, in the sense that the Namikaze clan sent him away to protect him, because just like the Uzumaki, they were targeted by the other villages and killed off, with Minato being the only survivor. And for convenience, let's just say that because of the Namikaze's strong genetics, Naruto was born more Saiyan than Uzumaki. The night of his birth was truly something to see. The 4th Hokage, using his Super Saiyan transformation to battle off against the Ninetales and a masked man who calls himself Madara. Neither could keep up with the speed, but even he wasn't fast enough to outrun death. On his deathbed, he looked at the baby Naruto and held out his hand. "I'll leave it all to you, my son," he says in a weak voice. Minato, in his dying words, would transfer the remaining amount of his ki to Naruto. And since we are here already, we'll talk about it. Ki, well, it's basically a form of chakra that only the Namikaze clan can access. Naruto here grows up kind of different. Sure, a lot of people hate him. That will never change because he does have the Ninetales sealed within him. But they also know that he's the Hokage's son. I mean, it's so obvious here that it just, well, think about it. He has a tail, the dark hair, the dark eyes, his physical strength being very impressive at a young age. The thing that stood out the most about Naruto, though, was his fighting spirit. Time and time again, he showed off the eagerness to get stronger. And because he doesn't rely on his chakra, he uses ki most of the time, which the Ninetales can't really affect. Because, well, it's basically like his Kekkei Genkai. With his ki, he's able to teach himself how to sense other people's chakra. Hiruzen here actually has multiple Jonin ninja train Naruto 3 days out of the week. And by the time he was in the academy, he would be far ahead of his peers. Only one of them could even come close, that being Sasuke Uchiha. However, when they fought, Naruto came out on top because his body and physical strength and his speed was just so much more than Sasuke's. His physical strength was even comparable to some of the grown men within the village who weren't even ninja. But I feel like we can start with the Naruto who's around 9 years old, as we see him sitting on the 3rd Hokage's stone face, smiling while looking down at the village. He turns his back to the village and then jumps right off, using his tail to grab a clothing line and sling him into the window of the Hokage building. But instead of breaking the glass, his face would slam against it. Hiruzen would sigh, opening the window and looking at Naruto. "Naruto, you should know by now I reinforce these windows because of the actions that you take, meaning you break them too often. You should know better as the Hokage's son." Naruto jumps in and smiles, asking the Hokage if he wants to spar with him really quick, as he's in a fighting mood. Hiruzen turns this down and actually has a surprise for Naruto. This is when Jiraiya walks into the room, and Naruto turns his head, instantly feeling his chakra. It's intense, but it's pure. Well, almost pure, as it is Jiraiya after all. Jiraiya, upon laying his eyes on the boy, gets flashbacks to his previous student, as Naruto is a spitting image of his father. It's uncanny how similar they look. Naruto doesn't speak a word to the white-haired man, but he throws a punch that Jiraiya catches. A huge gust of wind would happen after this, as Jiraiya would smile. I've trained Namikaze before, so don't think that I'll be a pushover. Your physical strength is pretty insane though. I'd say by this time you are a little ahead of your father, but I feel like you've been trained a little more as well. But we'll have to see how far you can get. Naruto smiles, and he starts to glow. Almost, colors would then begin appearing as his ki would become visible, alerting Jiraiya that he may have Super Saiyan, but Naruto, he was tapping into a more primal power that we will see later in the story. Hiruzen explains to Naruto that since Minato had many enemies around the world, it'd be much better for him to begin his training much earlier. So, for the 3 years remaining, until it's time for him to graduate the academy, Naruto travels the world with his godfather and begins his own training. Naruto returns much taller, as his hair is longer as it kind of falls down now. Think of it kind of like, let's see, what design would I want? I definitely want a future Trunks kind of design. You know, when he left the time chamber and his hair was long, but think of it as black hair, and his outfit would be red and black, more like the Zeno Goku outfit, I believe it's called. I'm really just adding most of the things I like about the Dragon Ball series, whether it's canon or not. Jiraiya tells him that they will meet again pretty soon, as he would then leave. Naruto walks into the village, as most of the villagers just stare at him with even more hate, as they had hoped he'd die in the outside world. Since he was gone, their hate for them, their hate grew more than before, and this was thanks to Danzo spreading more rumors into the shadows, as it became worse and worse as the years went on. Someone would then throw a tomato at Naruto, which he dodges without even moving, surprising them. Danzo is actually the first person to greet Naruto, and Naruto ignores it, walking past him. As he takes another step, he speaks in a serious tone. If you send another person to try and kill me, I'll make sure to destroy you and that organization you host. Danzo can't even speak because of the intense ki or chakra coming off of Naruto's body right now. It was making the air around the two so heavy. Naruto returns to the academy the next day to his classmates who just stare, wondering who this is, until Iruka spoke. It's good to have you back, Naruto, Namikaze. It's good to be back. I miss this place and the people here. But one thing I'll let everyone here know right now is the outside world is a little more tough than you may think. So I don't think any of you here could beat me now. Sasuke is the first person to protest when Naruto shows off his ki a little bit. Right now, he was in a suppressed state, so he allowed some of his ki to leak. Sure, none of them could sense ki, but this feeling, this pressure or bloodlust coming off of Naruto, this was something you could only feel coming off of a Chunin or a Jonin, not an academy student. It's easy for us to say that Naruto becomes a Genin. I mean, it's pretty obvious. At night, Naruto can feel someone leaving the village, so he jumps from a window and does something that was taught to him by Jiraiya after learning it from Minato. Jiraiya himself still can't use this technique as it's a Namikaze exclusive, but he knows how to teach it to someone, as Minato has showed him many times. Naruto takes off and flies to Mizuki, who was in the forest. His sensei was surprised to see him, but before he could speak, the fist of Naruto landed in his stomach. Mizuki falls to the ground, passing out instantly from the devastating blow from Naruto. Iruka arrived to see Mizuki tied up and the scroll of sealing with a note from Naruto. The next day, Naruto was assigned to Team 7. Oh wait, actually, that's not what I wrote. Oh, my bad for coughing if it was loud. He's actually assigned, I just said Team 7 because I'm so used to it. The next day, Naruto is assigned to Team Guy, along with Tenten and some kid named Rock Lee. Yes, he won't be on Team 7, and I think it doesn't really fit here this time around. Naruto, Lee, and Tenten go up to meet their sensei, who was on top of a hill that they had to climb. My guy was smiling when he saw them. The raging spirit of youth is now upon us. Are you ready? He would say. Naruto looks toward him and smiles as he would throw a punch that clashed with his sensei's. So, You'll be the first to test your new growth as a Genin. Naruto, well, his Namikaze blood would then boil with excitement as he would then vanish. Well, he vanished, leaving an after image, but from behind Guy he reappeared as both of his teammates take notes on his speed. But even this isn't enough to outspeed the likes of Might Guy at this point, as the sensei turns around and then blocks the attack, hitting Naruto as well. The black-haired boy would stand back up. So sensei, why don't we get a little more serious? As Might Guy would then put his hand out, telling Naruto no. We must first train, and that means all of you. Team Guy heads out and goes through tough physical training for about 2 weeks before they are approached by a Kakashi clone. The clone then explains what's going on in the Land of Waves and explains how they need to get a healer for Neji, who's very injured, and the only known one in the village right now is Naruto, as this was documented by the Hokage when he did come back to the village. Team Guy decides to head out, following the clone all the way back to the Land of Waves. With non-stop travel at a high rate of speed, I actually think they can make it within a couple days, especially with no one blocking their path. When they do arrive, Naruto walks over to the injured Neji, who's in the home of Tazuna, losing a lot of blood. Naruto holds out his hand, using his ki to help heal Neji, which stops the bleeding, but he still is out of commission. Kakashi himself isn't in any condition to fight either, so the next morning, Team Guy heads out with Tazuna, as they would go to the bridge, and they are greeted by the dead bodies of some of the workers, and at the end of the bridge, they see Zabuza and the masked man. Naruto gets ready and he switches his stance to a fighting one, similar to Goku, but he instantly has to block a kick from the masked man, as Rock Lee didn't want to let his teammate have all the fun, so he jumped towards them, but his path was blocked by ice. If you think this ice will stop me from passing my limits, you are surely mistaken. Lee starts to power up, and he slams his fist through the ice, breaking it, as Naruto jumps away from the masked man and does something that the team has never seen before. Naruto closes his eyes, and he enters his fully powered up state, revealing his true strength. Before, Naruto seemed like a high Genin, maybe even a Chunin. Now, he was entering the power that only Jonin should have. A white aura appeared around him, as the energy could now be seen. The masked man can't really tell a difference other than the aura, so he sends a large amount of ice at the black-haired boy. But from his very eyes, Naruto vanished, and from above him, we see Naruto pulling back his fist, as he would then yell out, "Secret technique! Dragon's Fist!" A silver dragon then appears around Naruto as he slams his fist into the face of the masked man, sending him through the bridge and into the water below. Tenten and Lee were amazed. Lee himself wanted to become strong enough to fight Naruto in a fair one-on-one fight. As we go over to the sensei, who was in the first gate, completely outpacing his opponent, who still has injuries from the battle that happened days before. My Guy hits him with a barrage of attacks that leaves him unconscious. Tazuna begins to thank them, but Naruto interrupts him. The battle isn't over, so save your thanks. They then look around on the bridge to see Gato and his henchmen walking towards them. However, Naruto steps in front of his team and begins to use a new attack, channeling his ki into his palms, closing his eyes while he focused, as a golden ball would then form in both of his hands as he puts them together, yelling out while he opens his eyes, "Final Flash!" A large golden beam then embraces all of the enemies in one go. Naruto stood there unfazed by his power, but goes back to his suppressed state, allowing his hair to fall back down. Naruto, Might Guy will then look over at his students, Tenten and Lee, and explains to them that Naruto is the goal that they have to reach and break through, so they just have to work a lot harder to reach that level of power. Tenten replies that this goal may be too much for them, but Lee is excited while staring at Naruto. "Just you wait, Naruto. I will surpass you in every way, and then I will defeat you." The group then helps Tazuna and his workers finish the bridge, and once it was done, they set off back to the Leaf, but Team Guy uses Naruto's instant transmission to get there, instantly, as this gives them more time before the Chunin exams to train. Speaking of that, Might Guy definitely approves of his team participating, as it may be a great challenge for them, even Naruto. He focuses more on the training of Lee and Tenten so they can catch up to Naruto a little faster or get on a higher level than the rest of the Genin, or their peers. Naruto trains on his own, using his weighted clothing. Days go by as a full moon was present one night. Naruto flies very far from the Leaf and will stare at the moon, transforming into a great ape. Yes, I will be adding that into this version of the What If, because I didn't add the Namikaze clan as a whole. So this will be the only great ape on the, in the video. In the series, basically. Naruto is able to control it by now, but he wants to use the power of it in his base form without becoming bigger, and you can see where this is eventually gonna lead to. Him finding out or figuring out how to access the Ikari form. We can now skip to the first day of the exams, as Team Guy heads to the real testing room because Lee has no desire to fight Sasuke, which makes perfect sense as Naruto is his goal and he's much stronger than the Uchiha. After the written test is over, the remaining teams are taken to the forest, the gate in front of the forest of death. Anko explains the rules, and while he's listening, Naruto can sense someone with an intense malice. However, since this malice isn't directed towards him, he really forgets about it. And his team, they would head in, and Lee tells Naruto that they should fight everyone that they see, as Naruto begins smirking from ear to ear. This is why we're best friends, Lee. Tenten, are you in? She nods. Yeah, I can't let the two of you leave me in the dust. I trained just as hard. All three of them would then rush off, running into a team from a different village. Naruto tells Lee that they should fight with some handicaps to make it harder, as they can only use pure taijutsu, no ki or gates for either of them. While they were making their requirements, Tenten had already started fighting, as she used her ninja tools and explosive tags to defeat one of them with pure skill and planning. No fair, Tenten. We didn't even get to choose your handicap. Lee then goes in, throwing a punch at another one of them that sends them flying as he would chase after them. Your battle... No. Let me change that. Lee punches them, sending one of them flying as he would smile. And from behind him, while he wasn't paying attention, another Genin would throw a kunai, but all of them are caught by Naruto's tail. Your battle is with me, not Lee. The Genin jumps to a higher branch and looks back down to see that Naruto isn't there anymore. The leg of our protagonist then hits this person with so much force that it shatters their ribs and breaks their arm. Think of it as when Android 18 kicked Vegeta. His opponent falls to the ground, coughing out, with blood pouring out of his mouth. Not even coughing it out, it's just leaking. Naruto stands over him and takes a scroll from his bag, as he does feel that evil key from before. This time it was stronger. As he turns his head, he notices where it's coming from, as he can sense the key of all the members of Team 7. Lee, Tenten, follow me, we gotta move quick. His teammates don't even ask questions, as they would just follow him. By the time that they did arrive, Sakura was already being attacked by the grass ninja. Neji and Sasuke were knocked out as Naruto jumps in right before she cuts off her hair, and he punches the girl that was holding her. Naruto looks around at everything and starts to get angry. His Namikaze blood begins to boil with rage. Both of you, no, all of you, stay out of my way. This fight is all mine. Naruto looks up at the three grass ninja that stare down at him from a distance above, as Naruto's body begins to grow in size, with his hair spiking up a little bit, and his eyes, his dark black eyes, would change to a bright yellow as he roars out when his veins begin to pop. The roar alone sends shockwaves throughout the entire forest of death, and once the transformation was done, we can finally see it. Naruto's very own Ikari form. The light green ki was leaking from his body as he began rushing at those above him. One tried to jump in the way for his teammate, but Naruto grabbed his face and slammed him through the tree branch. One. Naruto then flies back up with a huge blast of ki, while he sends one at the remaining shinobi. Luckily they dodged, but the trees behind them weren't so lucky as they were no longer there. Naruto got behind them and knocked both of them out at the same time. As he then stands there, beginning to calm down as the fight was now over, but he powers back up, sensing something. It's the same malice from before. However, it's a little different here. Naruto looks over to his left as he sees Sasuke standing there on the tree branch, using the curse mark while looking at him. Naruto. And this is where I plan to end the video. I didn't want to make this video too long because it is the first part of a potential series on my channel. And if it does flop, well, I didn't put much time. Well, you know what I'm saying? I didn't make like a 30-minute video, so I'm not really worried about it. I'm pretty sure this video is still like 20 minutes though, so it is still like a good enjoyable amount for you guys to watch or listen to. So, if you guys did enjoy it, I do want to make this one a series on my channel. So if you do want me to continue it and you have made it this far in the video, here's the like goal. Get it to 75 likes and let's say, I'm trying to like estimate how many views this might get. Let's go 75 likes and let's go 800 views, and I'll make sure that I do a part 2 whenever we hit that goal. Also drop some comments of what I should add in future parts from DBZ. Also make sure to subscribe to the channel and join the Discord. We can talk to me directly or suggest more ideas to me. I hope you all have a great day, night, or evening, as this is Zero, and I'll catch you all on the next one. Peace.